all, greetings. BJ Weiler here once again with yet another episode of It's All in the Wrist. Continuing our SimCity gameplay series here. In fact, let me do this real quick. So, there we go. Minimize the music, make it a little bit easier to hear. SimCity series. As you may recall, it's the previous episodes. I think we're up to episode 5 now for SimCity. Anyway, in our first episode, we explored the game that launched it all, SimCity, thus renamed, whatever, SimCity Classic, when the sequel came out, SimCity 2000, which comprised the following 3 episodes, and of course, which we just wrapped up in the last episode, showcasing some of the changes, improvements, and just the gameplay of SimCity 2000, which, really I think out of all the SimCity games, SimCity Classic, 2000, 3000, SimCity 4, it's really tough to pick which one was my favorite, but I guess it would have to be SimCity 2000. Out of all of them, that's the one I had the opportunity to play the most back in the day. I've actually only played a little bit of SimCity 3000 back in the day, and even less of SimCity 4, because by that time, real life and other games and stuff like that took over, so my playtime was minimized. But SimCity 2000, during that time, that period, 94, 95, as I recall, I believe I did mention when it was released in one of the episodes around that time. That was it. It was SimCity, because this was even pre-Stronghold days, pre-Guild Wars days, which really took up a lot of my time in the early 2000s and up into 2005 and beyond, when I really dug into MMOs. But other than that, here we are, SimCity 3000. This is the loading screen. You do get a sort of preview movie, like a sort of in-flight movie, as they called it in SimCity 2000, which we were able to see in SimCity 2000. Unfortunately, here, is because of the newer computer technology, it doesn't run quite as well. Now, I am not running this in a virtual machine because it's very tricky to get to work in a virtual machine, if you can get it to work at all. So this SimCity 3000, the Unlimited Edition, there are actually 2 releases of SimCity 3000, which we'll get to in a bit. This is the later release, the more fully featured release, called SimCity 3000 Unlimited. This is actually running on my Windows 7 Dell XPS, so you can get it to run on somewhat modern hardware here. It's a pretty beefy machine. I do most of my gaming on this machine, the laptop itself, so it will run on this. One caveat though, it may be tricky. It runs automatically in full screen. There's really, this is during the time when this was released. Games have not yet added the option to play in windowed mode, so by default it runs in full screen. You can get this to run in window mode if you change your display settings to 16-bit. So changing it to 16-bit, you can then go into your preferences here and set screen resolution and stuff like that. So right now I am recording this in windowed mode because the recording actually works a little bit better, a little bit easier to record while running games in windowed mode. That's what I'm doing here. So my graphics are set to 16-bit. When I'm done, I just simply load back my 32-bit graphics and go on my way. But again, anyway, here are your preferences for SimCity 3000. You can see graphical update, definitely a lot of graphical updates over SimCity 2000. This, I believe, was released around 1997, 98, so a few years after SimCity 2000. The one difference is, SimCity 3000 was released after Maxis was bought out by EA, so with this release we begin to see the fingers of the evil corporate EA into it, and thusly why we actually have 2 editions of the game. Now, the game actually started production before the sale to EA was complete, so SimCity 3000 was already in production before EA was bought out. I think it was around July 1997. The game released 1998, so a little bit of, not quite a year, maybe a little over a year. I forget the exact month it was released after EA bought out Maxis. But in the original SimCity 3000, there were some limitations. They removed scenarios, for one thing. You did not have scenarios in the original SimCity 3000. The Unlimited SimCity 3000 Unlimited adds those scenarios back in. Now, as in, if you've watched the episodes for SimCity 2000, you noticed the Urban Renewal Kit, which was a separate program that you could load up, import a city, or actually create a city through it without any cost to you whatsoever. As you know, if you go into the regular game, you're placing buildings, whatever you're doing is costing you simoleons, in-game money. Well, through the Urban Renewal Kit, that allowed you to import whatever city or create a city from scratch, build wherever you want with no cost whatsoever, import it into the actual game, and then play just whatever you built, which, of course, how I went back and forth quite extensively in the last 3 episodes with SimCity 2000. Now, SimCity 3000 eliminates the Urban Renewal Kit. You can no longer do that, but there are tricks, there are ways to actually get an Urban Renewal Kit like feel while you're playing the game. However, what SimCity 3000 Unlimited does add is the Building Architect Plus, so like in SimCity 2000 where you could actually create your own buildings, edit buildings that were in there. Thusly, SimCity 3000 also has a Building Architect tool built into the price, and it also has SimCity Scenario Creator where you can actually create your own scenarios. Again, all built in, all came with SimCity 3000 Unlimited when that was re-released a year after the base game was released. So again, this is the unlimited version, this is the fully featured version. Some other differences between the base and the unlimited version, there are a couple extra disasters. As you'll see, as we're going to start off here, we're actually not going to import our city we've been working on in this episode. That'll be next episode. We'll be starting a city from scratch here just so you can see some of the stuff that you get with SimCity 3000 and the unlimited version. But again, here we go. Upgraded graphics, upgraded music, of course, along with all these extra features and features that have been improved upon from the previous 2 games. Again, you're getting a graphics update, you're getting primarily stuff that was in the previous 2 games, and everything's just been upgraded. Natural progression for sequels here, as it should be, right here. Even with EA's hands in it, and of course, they said, the first game was gimped a little bit, but, with their release of SimCity 3000 Unlimited, it's SimCity 3000 the way it should have been from initial launch. Anyway, here we go. Here's our preferences. You got some zooms. You can see traffic sims. Basic stuff, music. You can actually pick and choose what music plays while you're playing here. So here we go. Starter town is basically a town that's already started. Starter town. It's already got some stuff placed that you just pick in and you build. It's basically free build mode. Of course, scenarios. Anyone who's a SimCity fan knows the scenarios. It's basically a city. The game gives you certain challenges you must complete in a certain period of time. Real city terrain, that's new for SimCity 3000. It actually gives you maps of actual real-life cities that you can actually build your SimCity upon. So you can mimic your own hometown if your hometown is lucky enough to be included. Though to say, of course, if you've already got cities that you've been playing right here, or if you're importing a city, you basically copy the game file over to where the SimCity 3000 stores the game files, and you open it up and you get on. Of course, there are, of course, with the graphical changes, stuff like that, there will be things that we will, and of course all that will be showcased next episode, but there will be things that we will probably need to do in both SimCity 2000 and then when we import it here, SimCity 3000, get the city more compatible with the newer version. Start a new city, that's what we're going to do in this episode. Let me kill that window, because I don't need that window anymore. As I've already mentioned, the Scenario Creator and Architect Plus, start a new city. So here we go. So you can actually choose landscapes. You can have a Arctic landscape if you want, slightly desert, a savanna landscape, grassy landscape, that kind of stuff. So actually choose how your trees look. So, you know, bit of graphical differences. You can choose the style of your buildings. You get yourself some log cabins. You get yourself more of an Oriental, Japanese type theme. So we'll stick with that. We'll stick with now I don't like those trees. We'll stick with bushy trees. So here you got your selections for disasters. I have disasters off, of course. I don't like playing with disasters. I just more like just a free-form sandbox building. Auto budget, I have auto budget off, so I can play with the budget as need be. New city, so we will do new real SC for new real SimCity. Difficulty level, basically difficulty level affects bit of how the terrain is formed initially, and of course obviously as you can see the money you start off with, your start date, and again your city size, miniature being SimCity 2013 size, and then of course you have your actual city size maps here. We're going to go with the large, of course. Your start date 1900, 1950, 2000, basically your start date. It determines what starting buildings you have to place. So, of course, 1900, you have, just some of the very basic buildings, power stations, that kind of stuff you can place. You have to wait, until time passes on before you can start placing some of the newer stuff. But as I mentioned earlier, there are ways around that, just like the, not the lack of the urban renewal kit. There's actually ways around that in-game to get the same type of feel of having the urban renewal kit. And the bonus is that you don't have to open a separate program, go back and forth. You do it right here in the game itself. So I'm going to start with easy 1900 because we're going to get around the building limitation, that kind of stuff. So we are going to select this. We are going to load, and here is the default terrain. It's basically a randomly generated map that you get. So here you pick your features. So we've got our reticulating splines. Yes, unfortunately the reticulating splines have been left with SimCity 2000. But here we have basically oceanfront with your river. Now it may be very hard to see, but we do have some terrain elevation. Of course, with the improved graphics, the terrain is more blended in. So different terrain elevation. I'm not going to get too fancy in here because you can actually spend, as you can see with SimCity 2000, a lot of time just doing terrain, just playing with the map itself before you even get into the real game here. But here we go. These are some of the adjustments. Of course, you can zoom in, zoom out. You can rotate the map. Here you can select what you've got. You can actually make an island if we so choose. So we want to regenerate the terrain, and now, as you can see, we have an island with a river. So basically we actually have two separate islands here. So we can change the pathway of the river. We can eliminate the river, put a mountain in the middle. There we go, now we have an island with a mountain. Or we can just have your basic flat land. And of course we will, again, the parameters will determine how much hills, water, and trees are available. Now, of course, with an ocean, this water is salt water. Your river will be fresh water. So if I have a river, that river will be fresh water. At some point where it meets the ocean, it will turn to salt water. Important to determine how you're going to run your water supply. Again, like SimCity 2000, you have a water supply here that you need to keep water. So, of course, your water pumps will do fresh water. You have a desalinization plant, which will do your salt water. So what we're going to do, or you can have, of course, no water at all, except for some, of course, again, very basic. You basically have no river. Now, without a river, you cannot have a seaport. So that's very important. If you want to have a seaport, which aids commerce, you will have to have a river. So, or you can have a lake too. But seaports are not lake. You have to have a river or an ocean for a seaport. Very important. I basically just have river and water. We are going to go to our river. A few lakes here and there. Now, trees enhance land value and also eat up some pollution, so we want to maximize the trees. See if we got that. Very nice. Very nice. Wow, that's loud. Anyway, of course, you can adjust how much water, a lot, little, mountains. You know, mountains are primarily flat land. I think I'm going to have to turn the music off. It's going to be this loud. But anyway, here's the difference between the original release of SimCity 3000 and SimCity 3000 Unlimited. Here we have these 6 terrain buttons. Your lower terrain, your raised terrain. Basically the same function as you've seen with SimCity 2000 and that you actually get in-game. You get to do these, this is available in-game as well. But of course, in-game it costs you money, here it costs you nothing. So basically right now we are in sort of the urban renewal kit area of the game. The problem is once we leave this and accept this terrain, we can't get back to it. Again, as I mentioned, there are ways around that once you get in the game. So if you want to do any editing, stuff like that. So the key here is if you do anything here, make any changes here, but then you want to make a change up here or a change up here, and hit regenerate terrain wipes out anything you did with these. So make sure you get your settings up here the way you want it, regenerate the terrain so it pops up like this, and then you basically do your fine tuning with this here. And then once you do your fine tuning, which you know we're not going to get into, it'll just take forever, we will accept this terrain. Hey, we have some tips. Yay. Very happy they will give you gifts as your population grows. Yes, we know, thank you. As you can see, definitely an enhanced interface. More the modern interface that the current games have now taken. Again, you can change your settings, change your preferences. See, I don't think he has music, so let's lower the music a bit, because that was kind of loud. That was definitely kind of loud. Okay, there we go. So we're good. Don't really want to change anything else, so you can always go back there and change music. New city. Yes. Real SimCity. So we actually do want to do Real SimCity, our base map, in case we want to go back and recreate on this map. So another good clue. Always before you do any building, save the city, save it as a base, especially if you like the terrain you created, that we can keep going back to it and create more and more cities on that terrain without actually having to go through and regenerate everything that we went in. So you can just go back, load that city in, load that base terrain in, save it under a different name. After you start building, you're good to go. So we're fine there. We'll accept that terrain. So what we are going to do now, we are going to load. Now we don't need to save it. A real SimCity base. Okay, we are paused. Of course, here's your speeds, your run play, your query tool, which gives you information about the various tiles over there. And value very low and zoned, etc., etc. Of course, your mini map here, you can zoom in, zoom out, rotate the main map here. Layers view, move that over there. Above ground, you get your underground view. For your subways, water, pipes. Sea layer views, you can see your aura, that's something new for SimCity 3000. Your overall feel, how your people feel about your city, how your city feels. And then usual crime density, your power, your flammability, land value, pollution, traffic. All which we will be, of course, taking a closer look at as we get deeper into not only our new real SimCity, but our imported SimCity as well. So, default view, apply, thank you. Here's our budgeting, view our data. Again, sort of you got your power, flammability, same sort of thing as you get there. This here actually places it on the actual physical map itself here. This of course places it here, so you can actually zoom in into your city to an actual building and put the layer view on that and see where that building is in terms of land value, flammability, that kind of stuff. Again, we'll get more into that as we see. Ordinances, of course, are back. Important, we do want to start with the farmer's market. Costs us nothing, it gives us nothing, but it allows farms to be built. New for SimCity 3000, you can actually build some farms. So we've got that. So scenario status, of course, if we were playing a scenario, that would tell us what we need to know. Here's our neighbors: Cross Point, Jefferson Field, East Court, West Aim. And their populations, of course, the national population of Simnation. Discuss deals, neighbor deals, which work properly, by the way, in this game. Of course, the budgeting window, you have your expenditures, what expenses you have, your to date, estimated, here's your estimated, or here's your estimate, here's the actual numbers up to that point in the game, etc., etc. You want to take pictures, view snapshots, of course. Here's your advisors. We have our Mortimer Green. I think I'm just going to have to move this over here. Make it a bit easier. Lower taxes, financial advisor, our transportation advisor, our city planner, our environmental, our public safety, our health, education, and aura, and of course our utilities advisor. Here's our emergencies. Dispatch, activate warning sirens. It's important for earthquakes, stuff like that. It actually allows you to be able to save some damage from happening to your city and get federal simoleon assistance. And of course, you can always start a disaster. Our civic buildings, we can place our utilities or transportation. There's our zoning. New also for SimCity 3000 is the addition of medium zoning. In the original SimCity, there wasn't any. You zoned residential, commercial, or industrial. There wasn't a light, medium, or there wasn't a density of zoning. If you imported your city, it was automatically dense zoning into SimCity 2000. Now SimCity 2000 added the option to light zone, or to zone for light zoning preferences. SimCity 3000 gives us an in-between, gives us a medium. And of course, plant trees, create surface water, lower raise terrain. Again, as we indicated in the terrain editor portion of the map, your same tools here, except of course here they will cost you simoleons. So boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. We'll get back to here. Just close that out so we get our cursor here. So of course now we can just build to our heart's content, but let's do some tips and tricks here. Get that right out of the way. So we will move you there like that. Now this is where our Prima's official strategy guide, nice thick, as I showed you in one of the previous episodes, nice and thick. SimCity Societies, about that much of it, and of course SimCity 2013, not much bigger than that. Lots of information, not necessary, but it does offer some good tips and tricks throughout the page. Very informative if you really want to dig into the simulation, very deep simulation here. I mean, SimCity 3000, arguably, it can be considered the best of the franchise. Some people prefer SimCity 4, some people prefer SimCity 3000, so it's basically personal preference, but all told, SimCity 3000 and SimCity 4 are arguably the best, most in-depth, feature-rich versions of SimCity that have come out. So definitely lots of fun, lots of stuff you can dig into. So here, towards the back here, we have our cheat codes. So various cheat codes which do various things in the game, which we'll show in upcoming episodes. What we are going to do now is do our cheat entry box, which of course I will have to move the camera again. So let me move that. But I'll just move it down here. I think we'll be safe down here for the most part. Okay, so the cheat entry box is on PC, by the way. This is also, you can also play on Mac. It's slightly different, but it's on PC. We're doing PC, baby. So we are Alt, Control, Shift, and C. Do Alt, Control, Shift, C. There's a cheat box. Now we can enter in different phrases which do different things. So if we do power, actually before I do that, let's do this again. Of course, as I've shown, we've started in 1900, so power plants you're limited to are coal and oil during this time. But now, Alt, Control, Shift, C, we do power to the masses. Ba-doop. We open our power plants, and ba-ding, all our power plants become available. Of course, this is only helpful, of course, if you want, very helpful to be able to plant a fusion power plant, one of the cleanest, most productive power plants you have. But of course, as you can see, 50,000 simoleons, that would wipe me out. I wouldn't be building anything else. I would have no money left. I couldn't even zone to get income. So that would not be very helpful. I definitely don't want to plant that without some other cheat codes. But let me go through them real quick anyway. So Control, Shift, C, whatever. So if we do garbage in, comma, garbage out, that gives us our garbage structures, all garbage structures, which I think are, they're under here somewhere. Utilities, oh, here we go, garbage disposal. Basically gives you the strings. I think you actually don't have any of these at 1900, so opens those up. So what we are going to do is we're going to do water in the desert. That gives you all water structures, your water pumps, your desalination plant, anything to do with your water supply. That unlocks everything. Okay, next one. This is pay tribute to your king. That unlocks all your rewards and opportunity buildings. So we'll pop one over here. Your rewards and opportunities, your stock exchange, mayor's house, that type of stuff. This stuff, you basically start out with the mayor's house. After a few years of in-game time, you're playing. If people are happy with your, say, the mayor's house, your first reward. Now it basically unlocks everything. You can place it as you will. And there are a few others. There's one called Nerds Rule, N-E-R-D-Z, space R-O-O-L, which allows you to redevelop your dirty industry into clean industry, regardless of any other factors. Now, dirty industry, of course, is high polluting. You can attract clean industry to your city over time. It does take a lot of over time in game time, probably about, I think, 60 to 80 years. But you need the ordinances, you need the proper zoning, you need a whole lot of other factors involved over that time that to help bring in that clean industry to reduce pollution. Using the Nerds Rule cheat, that actually allows you to bring it in immediately by demolishing all of your dirty industry buildings. They will be replaced as they redevelop with clean industry, but that's only for this game session. You have to do that every time you open up this game. UFO swarm lets you start a disaster of a UFO armada attack. A couple of other ones we have that I actually don't really use because one is let's make a deal. Opens up all business deals with your neighbors. So it allows you to get any business deal you want. And I love red tape allows you to unlock all the ordinances regardless of year. So I don't usually use those because that stuff is pretty easy enough to allow to unlock over time. So the next most important one besides the 4 we just did is I am weak. Bow. Now doing that, let's zoom in here because we are going to actually I want to try to start near some water. Oh good, we got water here, so we will start in this corner. Zoom! 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 Look at that zoom. Definitely a lot more zoom levels here than SimCity 2000. Definitely better graphics. So now here we have some water there, good. So I am weak. That, in addition to the other 4 we did, basically in this gameplay session gives you the power of the urban renewal kit, because as you see now, let's go to power. Let's go to power plants. I have my fusion power plant. Cost is $50,000. Yet, as you can see here, 0 simoleons. I am weak. Pretty much allows you to place anything you want for no cost. Now, demolishing still costs you money. So if I were to come over here, demolish this tree, as you can see, it would cost me 5 simoleons. So demolishing still costs you money, but building costs you nothing. Building trees, building roads, building buildings, zoning, whatever, costs you nothing by using the I am weak cheat. Now, if you're afraid of saying, well, at some point I do want to start using some budget, play the game normally, the cheat, the I am weak cheat, is only effective for your current play session. So now that I've used it, I can build to my heart's content without costing me anything except for whatever demolition costs. It costs even terrain. Changing the terrain, I believe, doesn't cost anything either. Even though it shows up there, I don't think it costs anything. Let me see. See real quick. I could be wrong on that, but what I want to do is level terrain. Find out right quick, yeah. Okay, so leveling terrain. So the terrain tools will still cost you, but the building doesn't. With that, so even though you might have this cheat on, you still have to maintain a proper budget because you could still be losing money through demolishing. And of course, you'll still be losing money if you're losing money through your budget if you have more expenses than income. But this actually saves you if you want to just build to your heart's content for a bit without actually having to wait for simoleons. It sort of speeds up the game process. So power plants, fusion, check. Now, as I was saying, this is only for the current game session, so now I can build to my heart's content. I can save the game. Once I exit the game, that's it. That sheet ends. Next time I reload the game, everything will be back to normal, except for the other 4 codes. Once you unlock this stuff, it's unlocked permanently throughout the game, so if you want to unlock everything right away and still only stick to what is time-wise available, then you can do that and still have everything unlocked for cases where you might want to play something earlier ahead of time. But for the cheat code I am weak, this will end as your game session ends. You close the game out. Next time you open it up, you have to re-input that sheet to get your free building again. So you don't have to worry about that one. You have to use it for each session. Otherwise, you can do it for this session, next session. Don't worry about it. You build normally at whatever it costs you. Yes. So those are the cheat codes. So of course, being the cheater, the weak I am weak. Indeed, I am weak. Because I just like to have fun. We will plop our fusion power plop. We will do some industrial zoning. You know what? I think we will start with dense here. That's what we're going to do. So, of course, as you may recall, in previous games, your zones need to be within a certain distance of transportation, be it a road, train station, subway station, what have you. As I recall, in SimCity 3000, in this SimCity, residential is 4, commercial is 3, industrial is 5. Now, there is an ordinance that will eventually pop up called the shuttle ordinance, which increases those distances by 1 at a monthly cost to you based on either how many sims or how many bus stations or something like that, or a combined amount there. So once you have your shuttle ordinance in place, you can actually zone to 5 tiles residential, 4 tiles commercial, and 6 tiles industrial will develop within transportation. So you can always plan ahead right now to build in those limits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can actually build out to here and place my roadway here. Of course, these won't develop here until the shuttle ordinance is in place. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good jingle. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here we go. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Pachinko. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? The neighbor deals. Your neighbor connections are also furry. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to de-zone. Here we go. So what I do want to do is set up my neighbor connections as well. Nope, I want power lines. Sorry. Power lines. Here we go. Neighbor connection. Normally, I think a power connection is like 1,000 or 1,500. Costs you nothing. So we have that. We'll now build our road. Road. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these will develop with that there. So I can actually, we will want a road and neighbor connection. Road neighbor connection. At some point, we'll leave it at that for now. We will do dense commercial. We don't really need a lot of commercial at the beginning of the game. Oh, we have Sims walking along already. There we go. So commercial. This will be our commercial buffer. So let's plan that out. So we know within 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know up to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to here will be our commercial building opportunities. So we'll go. We'll just plow that out that way. Plow that out that way. We will want to leave space in the middle anyway. So heck, That sounds good to me. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, so 1, 6, 10. 12. And that will be our square. Which you don't necessarily have to build in squares, but we'll just be doing it for this city. There we go. So this will be our industrial here. So what we'll want to do is build some residential. Actually, you know what we will want to do? We will want to make sure we have enough residential close by. I think we build our residential. So we do want a buffer between our residential and our polluters. So we will throw our residential on this side of the fence here. It's residential, so we will definitely need for residential. There we go. So the residential is away from the polluters. We will just need to add a few power lines to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think as long as I think power radiates 5 tiles out, so that should ensure that everything is powered. So 5 tiles out from your power plant, and of course your power lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means that's getting powered. It means everything here is getting powered. Once this develops, this will automatically transfer power to there, which of course within 5 tiles will transfer power to there, transfer power to there, transfer power to there. Need be though, we will set up power lines to ensure, because we will need the development there. But one other thing we want to do, we want to query. So land value very low. Air pollution none, water pollution none. That's very important for the next zone we're going to build, which needs to be also light industrial. And needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, that's not going to work, is it? Okay. Oop, oh, that didn't happen yet. So what we're going to want to do here is go here. Level terrain. Okay, that should give us what we want. So roadway goes this way, so we actually want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Take you all the way there now. We want to make sure you will be getting power. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good enough. And that should give us what we need. Okay, are we good? I think we're good. And we'll see what may or may not develop. So let's, oops, nope, no thank you. I want to close that out so I get my coordinate tool. So we'll take a zoom out here. Better overview. We will run a simulation. We will go llama speed. As the dog barks, I think I'll just mute this for now and we'll see what develops. can see, it will take about a month for actual power to transfer over. So now, as we're developing, more pollution on powered. Yes, of course, development. Plant's not aligned. Plant's not aligned just means that tile has not been queried yet as for the reason for actual reason for lack of development. It's a tree. How about right here? It's not aligned. Excellent. Yes, I know, I have my ordnance up, so it might take a bit of time, so let's speed up here a bit. Let's see what we can get here. Come on, baby. There we go. Boom. There's our farm. So a farm needs to be 9 by 9 at least. I think it might be 8 by 8, but 9 by 9 works better. It must have at least a road on one side, of course, be powered. You cannot have a road on more than 3 sides. You can have a road on 3 sides. You put on the 4th side, the farm will not develop. As you can see, no water pollution, no air pollution, and low land value, and you will have your farm develop. The farmers market ordinance ups the chance of a farm developing, but generally early on in the game like this, you've got a good chance of farms developing anyway. Light industrial zoning as well. So now if you are a SimCity fanatic, you will also know, you may also note that as your city grows and develops, it will encounter downtimes where development stops, where growth stops, and some buildings actually become abandoned. And then they might reform. Now sometimes those buildings will reform into the same building that was previously abandoned. Other times these buildings will reform into something completely new. Now there are certain structures, like your farm. There are also certain specialty buildings like row homes, and I think estates. I think estates is another specialty building that if you zone properly under the right conditions, you will get these special buildings to be developed by your Sims. Now if you want to keep those because you just like the looks of them, or you want to show off the accomplishment that you've got the right conditions at the right time, well, you go to your query tool and hit the tile, and you got this make historical. Boom. Make historical. Boom. So what you do when you make something historical means that building will not change. Now it can be abandoned. You'll see, once my industrial demand lowers, you will see even some of these farm buildings become abandoned, but by making them historical means they will always be that building. When development returns, when demand returns and the building is no longer abandoned, this will stay a barn. This will stay high silent. That's not too, so let me, let's preferences. Ambient sound effects. There we go. Thanks. There we go. That's better. So the only drawback to these special buildings, especially as a farm, is that every single one of these tiles must be made historical in order to preserve the farmland. So let's say I do everything here except I miss this tile here. I don't make it historical. Well, the chances are at that point it can redevelop into dirty industry, clean industry, and basically ruin my farm. It'll cause the rest of the farm to be abandoned. So you have to go through the time-consuming process of making historical every tile. Of course, the barn automatically covers those 4 squares, so that helps a little bit. But the rest of it, not so much. Did this one, so it helps to have a good memory on what you did and didn't do. Okay, so we'll clear up to there. Historical. So this is a bit tedious, but the payoff is worth it in the end, in that your farms will always be farms after that point. Of course, you've got to watch your development, because you always want to make sure pollution and land value for the farm remains within the best ideal situation, remains in the ideal situation for the farm. Otherwise, your farm will just be abandoned. It won't change into anything else because it's historical. It will just remain abandoned land at that point. At which point, you're better off making it unhistorical, so to speak, and letting it develop into normal industry. Oh yes, Cal, you are getting a workout, aren't you? Oops. Got to do that on that tile, didn't I? And that one. That one is when I just did that one I need. Oops. That one I need. That one I need. This one I just did, so that one. That one. Okay. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one should be... Nope. Okay, there we go. So, the bottom 3, so to speak. So we're almost there. That one next. Final countdown here. Oop, come on. There we go, thank you. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, that should be everybody. So now my farm will be a farm. Of course, that will continue to develop over time and eventually be built. Okay, once we unpause, of course, so let's do, we can go back to llama speed, we can run the simulation, we can do that. Oh, okay, and there's our silo. We can build up nice and neat. So what do we have here? We have our windmill. We have our silo, and this is going to be another windmill. Okay. There are, I think, 3 or 4 different types of farm buildings. Again, you know, as normal, like any other building, luck of the draw, what eventually does become developed there. Developing nicely there. So So even at higher zoom, as you can see, graphics are definitely a little bit better. Let's see what that is. And say Slick's Ice Cream. Woohoo! And of course, you can do that for any building. So if I wanted to preserve Slick's Ice Cream, I make it historical. That will always remain Slick's Ice Cream. But for the most part, you know, there is one building, in fact, on my new Weilerton, as you may have seen from the Load City screen. There is a commercial building that looks sort of like a little castle, so I made that historical because I thought it was neat looking. So see, things are building up nicely. Roads in good shape, good, no tears, not enough water. Yes, we know we will be placing water pumps soon. Right now, well, actually, high density does need water in order to develop as high density. Otherwise, it will just develop as low density. So you know what? We will place our water structures, water pumping stations. What we want. Yeah, so... oh, we can put it right there. That's even better. Now, pipes. Water radiates out from pipes. A 7-tile radius, so we can. Here we go. So we pulp that bugger right there. It's about 7 tiles from the end, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. We get a little bit of overlap. That's fine. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what we'll want to do, we'll throw this up into the middle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one more. Now take care of our farm. That should take care of everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. So that basically will take care of the farm. Our square there, of course, we will need to bring power to that. So we will go power lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll throw that there. Of course, we can get rid of power lines as we develop. Closer. Can't get to work. Alright, let's build some bus stations then, shall we? Subway bus stop. Oh, the bus stop's not available yet. Okay. Here's a way to get that available. I think one of the cheat codes should do that. At least I would have thought. Or maybe it's an ordinance first that has to unlock it. Crossing guards, farmer market, parking fines. Parking fines will get us nothing at this point, so no point in it. You can see that it has become abandoned. But by virtue of being historical, it will always be a windmill. So we've got high residential demand, so let's build some more dense residential here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check our water view. Now, unfortunately, water isn't under the city layer view. That's only... actually, it will be if you do water pipes. Show you the water. Here we go. You see everybody's watered there, everybody's watered there, and you can see here it's where the water will radiate out to. So all this stuff's covered, all this stuff here is covered. We're even covered out to there, out to there, so we're good. what have we got building here? Ooh, nice. As you can see, industrial demand is going into the negative now, so we'll start to see our industry become abandoned. But that will change once we get more Sims in here to work. So we still have high residential demand. Commercial fairly flat, so we basically got all the commercial we need now, so to speak. You want to know where the police are? Fire coverage? Well, with disasters off, fire coverage really isn't that vital. Ooh, look at that bad boy there, huh? Now we can make that historical. We can even make this historical before it's complete. So it won't redevelop during construction to something else. So let's plop down police. We can plop police down right here in the middle, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll kind of work right there, won't it? I want to see this tower develop here. I might have to go cheetah here. Speed it up a bit. What's that going to be? Another Ripon Towers, okay. Oh. Ooh, that's changed into something. What's that changed into? Ooh, a mall. Well, we will definitely make that historical. Oh yes, I guess we should place a school, shouldn't we? Because school, your education, is part of the factor for increasing the chances of clean industry developing school. So of course, where do we want to place the school? It enhances land values for residential, but we'll throw it right here. I wonder if we should throw it here. Or should we throw it here? And I think we'll put the school there. Ooh, there's our mall. The Hip Hop Happening Mall. There we go. School and of course hospital. Might as well place our hospital. Place the hospital there. Sure, why not? Oh, whoa! Look at that bad boy. So now our development needs a pretty... Nice. Very nice. And as you can see, unlike SimCity 2000, which basically gives you the same facing for each building no matter the rotation, here we actually have 4 different facings for each of the buildings. So you get the different views from each side of the building. Very nice. As you can see here, of course, without the shell ordinates, these will not develop quite yet. What we can do now, however, is build some parks and rec. Small park, enhance land value. Pond, I think, is a little bit too big, right? I think the park and the fountain are the only ones that are our first reward. You get your haunted house in October. Special building. Grosse Pointe offers power deal. So they are going to pay us for providing 2,000 megawatts of power. Let's see. You can see here, that's what's going on here. Oh, garbage is piling out. And we will need to do something, about that. First, we want to query our power plant. Where are we at here? Maximum is 50,000. Our capacity is still 50,000 usage. We're only using 1,000. I think we can handle a power deal. So, West Aim, I think that was. Oh, shuckatash. See garbage piling up. So, that being the case, we will do another tip and trick here, because we will need something else new for SimCity 3000 is garbage and landfill. So in order to take care of garbage, you need a landfill. Landfills, as you might imagine, are very highly polluting. Very not in my backyard, so to speak. So, what we want to do, thusly, is this. We'll go to the other side of the map. We will zone for a landfill. At the edge of the map, of course. We'll bring her out to there. What we will do now, yes, and we will now have a working landfill. Because if you have a landfill, it must be connected to a road, and you can't just put it anywhere and have a road next to it. The road must be connected to something that makes a trip. Now, for those not familiar, a trip is your Sims going from home to work. That's a trip. So, landfill, you have to have a trip to drop your garbage off. Now, a little bit of a glitch, so to speak, or you can take advantage of the programming here. A neighbor connection is counted as a trip. So, you build your landfill, you make a neighbor connection, and you have a successful trip connection to your landfill, which allows your landfill to be used, and pretty much eliminates the garbage problem, and eliminates the pollution problem as well, because now it's polluting the other side of the map, has no effect on this part of the city. Now, what about that deal? Where's that deal, dude? There's this power deal. Oh, he's paying less now. Well, that's alright. I will accept that because it gives us money. Hey, I will accept that because we can make our landfill bigger as necessary. Ooh. And what we can also do to assist in the garbage problem, actually, because we did our little cheat here, to waste to energy incinerator, usually not available till the 50s, 60s or something like that. It's available now, so not only will it decrease garbage production, it will also give us a little bit more power. Not that we need it with a fusion power plant, but hey, that'll help us negate the need for having to grow our power plant a little bit larger. So our landfill a little bit larger for the meantime, especially with the garbage deal in place. So there we go. Also a polluter, so you throw it in your industry and it has little effects. So there we go. Very nice. Not enough water. It's only a water shortage because the landfill is not watered. Everything here should be watered. Probably, I think, right? Except those guys. Those guys aren't watered. Okay, so we might be operating at capacity then. Let's see what we got here. Query that guy. Maximum current. Yeah, so we are operating at capacity. Yes, we got our whole new tabs, thanks. New home for mayor. There's our home. Of course, I've already unlocked that, so makes a little difference. So before we call this a session, we'll build another pumping station right next to that guy. There we go. And that will solve, actually I'll just do that, solve the water problem. And basically there you have it. This, as you can see, spent very little money, basically just the leveling, the terrain editing costs, and some of the demolition was all it cost us. Ooh, what's that tower there? Grungy apartments. Oh. And there you have it. So we will save this city. We want to save as. We'll just eliminate that so we don't ruin our undeveloped base map. And we have new Real SimCity saved. As I said, next episode we will be importing Real SimCity and going through the process of getting that up, running and prepared, working with the changes of SimCity 3000. Things like highways don't port over too well. Of course, we have to add garbage, might have to make adjustments to some of our transportation and water networks, but for the most part, there you go. And of course, in the next episode, we'll be trying to get some of those estates and row homes up as well, if conditions are right. Once again, I am BJ Walla. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked and enjoyed our retrospective thus far on the SimCity series. We'll have at least 2 more episodes of SimCity 3000 to come, followed by a couple episodes of SimCity 4, and we'll be wrapping it up towards the end of this year with SimCity Societies. Till next time, like, subscribe, and you know what? I will see you in game.